Soon as we step on the mic, man, you notice the difference. Heavenly blessed with the melanin, baby, you know that we winning. No time for the long talk, got 120 on the clock. Wednesday 8 through 10, all the bad vibes better stop. Cause you gotta come with that energy. Kazual Konvo, baby, come down and just sit with me. Lil' Coco be spitting that remedy. Kazual Konvo, baby, come down and just sit with me. You better take this shit serious. She dropping knowledge on head and it's free for the play. Tap in right now if you curious. We got the ham radio going lit every A. We go from people to family to pilots. Stay with me if you got something to say. You know it's important if we go acknowledge. Speak on the business and get out the way. What you gonna say about my mama? She winning, you rockhead.
Hello, welcome to the Kazual Konvo show where we have conversations about topics that affect the community's personal and business relationships. We always have the casual convo, so you don't have to have the tough convo. And of course, we besties now. Boscoe from the Bronx.
Checking in.
You all my bestie. So pretty much tonight, we just gonna talk. How you feel?
Word.
Huh?
Word. Well, I tell you what. You want to start it off? I start it off. Either way.
I always go first. You go first.
All right. I want to touch on the abortion, the overturn of Roe v. Wade. I'm not gonna lie, it pisses me off. I'm a firm believer. Yeah, your body, your choice. Yes, it takes two people to make a baby, but I feel with these people making this decision for women, and the majority were men who made a decision, all white men except for, well, you can put Clarence Thomas in that too. Mm-hmm. It's going to affect them. It's going to affect things worse than what they say because, let me get right. It's going to affect them worse than what they may think. Because you got abortion is just not for someone who just doesn't want a child. You know, you got aseptic pregnancies, erotic pregnancies, even miscarriages. And you're going to need that so these women can live. And that's not something that's their fault that these situations occur. You know, these health situations. I mean, you get pregnant, you don't know what's going to happen, you know, and you're going to need these abortions. And for them just to overturn it, it's like crazy. And furthermore, I wonder what these conservatives who are pro-abortion feel about this, because this affects them as well. I don't know if it was on this show. I think it was when we spoke last week. Someone said the abortion turnover is not so much for us. It's because they're afraid that they're going to wind up looting their race.
Yeah.
I think,
it was. I forgot who it was. It was either Mike or JB.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
That's been going around a lot. I've been seeing different things like on YouTube, different podcasts and documentaries on it where that came up. But I think it's more of my major concern is probably because working in healthcare is the health side of it. You're going to have even remember back in the day before it was made legal, you had a lot of people doing backyard abortions, alley abortions, and then you had women ending up in critical condition. So my thing is, instead of policing a woman's body, she should have the right to choose what she wants to do with her body. My thing is, people get violated every day. You have people who get molested, raped. Anything can happen. And so you mean to tell me that this person doesn't have a choice? No, the law is not empathetic to women who were raped and pregnant. It was more so like it was them. I don't think, unless it hits home, people don't get it. Yeah. And it's like people just want to push their narrative and whatever their beliefs are on the other people. So then when you live in a country that's supposed to have freedom of choice, freedom of speech, freedom of all of these things, but now you're taking away all of those things. And then on top of that, I was watching which news show was it? They were talking about going back to the board, even about same-sex marriages, religions, marrying same sex. So this was the start of
Yep.
what the agenda is. And like I was telling, like I think I said it last week when I said they've been having this on the chopping block for years now.
Hmm.
It's kind of but everything going on with like Ukraine, um, all everything. They
Yeah.
kind of put this, and all of a sudden, oh, it was overturned because nobody was paying attention. Nobody was really like standing up for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel where this country is going backwards. Um, but they say that's why they keep records, because history always repeats itself. And yeah, it's a crazy thing. And like I said, I'm all for women just having the choice. You
Hmm.
know, I'm all for that. That's, I mean, period. I mean, it's your choice. I can't say get rid of the baby. I can't say that. I mean, if I
No,
wanted to stay, I mean, if I didn't want to have a child, I mean, I can say, yo, I don't think I can do it. You know, I don't think I could be whatever. I may voice my opinion, but I mean,
it,
ultimately, it's your choice. You know.
but not only like Drew said, what happens when the side pieces get pregnant? I look at it like this: not only about their side pieces getting pregnant, what happens to the kids who are not who may be unwanted? You're going to have an increase of neglect, an increase of
Right.
children being put in the system,
Right.
or of children being harmed at a young age because
Mm-hmm.
of a choice was being taken. Granted, people should wear condoms or whatever, but they're even trying to get rid of birth control. That's also on the docket that
Right.
they're not talking about. But you got to really
Right.
pay attention to what they're trying to do. Once they got
Mm-hmm.
that, now they're going for birth control. That includes y'all men
Mm-hmm.
birth control too, because that just got approved. This get ready to get. Mm-mm.
Yep. Yep.
Jude Rich said, "Come on the show. Click the link. You got it."
She might as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I've been on this planet 58 years, and the way I can remember as a child growing up in the 60s and early 70s how it was.
I
And I'm
disagree, Mike. The issue does affect black. He said he doesn't think the issue affect black people. I think it affect black people tremendously.
oh, big
Um,
time, big
um,
time.
because again, when you look at certain things when it comes to affordability and certain things like that, there is
Hmm.
an increase, especially of young women, black
Hmm.
and brown women who are sexually violated,
Hmm.
who go through so many different things, who now don't even have a choice if this happens to them. The same way like any woman, but it does affect, lower income
Hmm.
based people when you really think about it.
Yeah, it
And
does.
you made a good point. Government assistance is going to kill us in Texas. Yeah, Mike, I'm about to send you the link.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it affects us. I mean, yes, pregnancies in the black community has gone down, which is a good thing. You know, teen mothers and single parents. But it'll affect us. You know, it's bad enough we don't even get the health care that we need. Choo choo, that's my
Hey y'all,
girl up in the place to be.
I missed
Miss
welcome,
you
you, man.
today.
welcome to gorgeous, multi-talented
Hey,
artiste
I'm gonna flirt
herself,
with you, so you know that's coming.
Jude.
So,
Hey y'all, oh wait, I can't hear you.
yeah, it's crazy, man. When I seen it go down, I was like, here we go,
Mm-hmm.
here we go.
So, Jude, what's your 2 cents on the topic, ma'am? Oh, she dropped down.
Yeah, there
Oh,
she goes.
There you go. I don't know what happened. I
it's
don't know what
always
happened.
her.
It is. Oh, but Mike said something. I wanted to say something too. It affects us, in my opinion, more than it affect any other race. And the reason why I say
Hmm.
that is because family aspect. We have baby mother, baby fathers. Ain't nobody thinking about getting married.
Hmm. Playing house.
You going in and out,
Playing.
boo.
She might have to say it again when she come back because she
Yeah.
froze up. But I caught a little bit what she was saying. Yeah, it's like we're playing house.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
we're
we
not.
already have the abundance of broken homes.
Yeah, we're playing house. No
Yeah.
one's thinking about being married or whatever. It's like, no, I ain't trying to marry her. No, I ain't trying to marry him. But you got a kid or two or three by the same person, you know, and neither one of you even, it's not even crossing their minds. Like, no, I'm not gonna get married. You know, I think the woman is more inclined to want to be married than the man, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy, man.
Now she was in the Matrix. I cannot.
It's gonna affect, it's gonna affect us. I mean, I hope with it being overturned, you know, we'll be more responsible um, when it comes to having sex. You
No.
know, because I mean,
I've been seeing
I just
so
hope we.
many things on social media where dudes was like they still won't hit a raw dog and all that side pieces.
Oh yeah, they probably will. I mean, he ain't lying. They probably will. But you know,
It's not gonna
hopefully,
happen.
I don't know, man. Hopefully, people will be more responsible, man. I mean, I'm just hoping.
But so
I'm
you
not
know
saying they're
they
gonna do
talking about making it a voting law. So of course you know that's going another thing. Get you to the polls. Get to the polls. Get to the polls because they're going to
it.
put that as a question like on a ballot of should it be
Mhm,
legal? You know, should they put it back or not? That's the other option
mhm.
that they're coming up with. But you just got to wait for election time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think our political leaders. I mean, it's nothing new. I'm preaching to the choir with this, but I think it's more about. Well, anyway, the two parties are more about financial interests anyway. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because if you look at it, the poor states are the red states, the rich states are the blue states. But for some reason, those in the red states continue to vote red when nothing's getting better. It's like you vote against your interests because they feel a certain way about a certain demographic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this right here, you know. Oh, she's back. Hey, yo, you kind of got cut off when you was talking about
Now, it's
it
how she
affecting
be
us.
popping up for me.
Yeah, man, because the phone trash. It's the T-Mobile service. I had to go on the laptop.
Oh,
What I was saying was, I feel like that the pregnancy thing,
mm,
the abortion right, it affects us more than it affects any other race. Not discriminating against other women, but I feel
right.
like in the black
I'm sorry,
community.
not to cut you off. Hey, Mike, for
Hey,
everybody
Mike,
listening, Mike
Hey,
has
yeah,
joined
what's up? What's up?
as
Mike,
well as
Mike,
you.
this
Not
right
come
be
the
on
Mike
good.
in the
stage.
place
This
to
right
Okay.
be
be.
real good with Michael here.
Okay. It's about to get interesting.
This the debate himself. But I feel like we as black people, and I think I've
Mm,
heard this before from one of the previous shows. What we don't do is when we get pregnant by somebody or get somebody pregnant, we don't start a family. We go get somebody else pregnant most of the time. It's rare that we start to see like the whole family. Like I've been with her for this amount of time in our community.
mhm,
Mhm.
And now I want her to be my baby mother. I don't see too many men with a bunch of everybody talk about the women with all these kids by different dudes. I don't see too many dudes that don't have a lot of baby mothers either and out of
true
control with
that.
it. So
True
I
that.
just feel like when they did that, it affected our community way more than it affect everybody else. But the Asian
Yeah.
community too. I was watching the documentary. They over there dealing with that too because they've been dealing with this abortion
Oh man.
a long time. Them women
Yeah.
when they getting pregnant, they killing babies, drop them off at church. Right, get ugly over here like that too. Because
Mhm.
Cause they be having like they got like a 1 or 2 baby limit or something like that over there. I forgot what it is.
yeah,
Who over
It's
in
crazy.
Asia?
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
China.
got because their
One of them
population is
places.
crazy though too, and
Yeah.
they be serious about it. No more. That's it.
Y'all
That's
ready?
it.
Our
Yeah,
population crazy too. We got
Oh wait a minute, hold up.
everybody here.
If Mike gotta ask if you ready, this about to be good because he done flicked his he getting his food out his teeth and
Mike,
everything.
I'm ready. I'm
Go
rolling
off,
up.
Mike.
Yeah.
All right. So this has nothing to do with us. Okay, this is nice to talk about. Um, And I think black people, we fall in the victim to not doing research. Um, our birth rate is up, and this has to do with the world population. It has nothing to do with just the United States. They are at -1 birth rate around the world. So let's talk about why Roe versus Wade even happened. So a white lady said that she got raped by 3 men, and she
I
tried.
knew he was going to say it just like
Yes,
that.
she
I'm
tried.
sorry, but I
Yes, she tried to go get an abortion, and it was illegal. So she took it all the way up to the Supreme Court, and they granted people to have a right to have an abortion. Right?
mm-hmm.
We are not the leading race in incest. We're not the leading race in having deformities.
Right.
When they did this bill, this has nothing to do with us. When they was up there protesting, this has nothing to do with us. Okay, when this
I
passed,
agree. I mean,
Senator Miller told Trump and his followers, "Thank you, Trump, for saving white life."
Mm-hmm.
We get fed that we are 15% of the population since the 1960s because we're the only race that don't let the census come in our house and do a census count. This was
Right.
proven last year that they
Yep.
started going to like your apartment complex in a rental office trying to see how many black people actually lived in the complexes.
Mm-hmm.
So this has nothing to do with us in our community suffering from single dads, single mother syndrome because they lead it. Hence why they were embarrassed when they had 16 and pregnant. They had to actually pay and go search for black teens to actually get on the show. There was too many white teens that they found. Our
I
community,
agree.
I don't
But
agree with
I don't mean to
that.
cut
I
you off.
don't agree with that show anyway. You know,
so,
I
I mean,
don't
so
agree with
Yeah,
that.
me
I don't think
either. It's like
I mean,
glamorizing teen pregnancy.
because at the end
I
of the
agree what he
day,
said. It wasn't. I don't think it was about us, but I think it's going to affect us.
no, it
that's
won't
what I'm
affect
saying. It
us.
wasn't
Let
about
me tell
us.
you,
Yeah.
that's why it won't affect us. It won't affect us because we aren't the leaders of. We are not the race that use social services. We don't use a lot of social service. This is the lie. So they have a community in Kentucky that's all white. That is 95% population is on social services. We do not live in small towns in droves. We do not live on farms. The rural area is mostly white.
Mm-hmm.
Let me break the disbelief that they have us believing. Social Security was made in 1930 to help married families during the Depression. The white
Oh,
woman
my
and the
bad.
white man still get social services and subsidies to this day because most of them still live on farms. We get caught
Right.
up because our community was ushered into Social Security, like our community was ushered into child support. All of this took effect in the 1970s. So you're telling me right now that we have access to all these benefits, that we're gonna be running around in our communities making babies? We're not gonna do that. And rape is not even part of our cultural makeup. So let's be clear. So if you want to do like social,
You must
like
not watch the same.
yeah, so yeah, if you want to do like, so let's go by race and let's talk regular crimes. Let's if somebody was to take the races and do a stop and frisk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk with Asians. Like Asians gonna get stopped and frisked for fraud. We know that. We know they good at fraud. Them and the Africans, right? So we know that's fraud. We know black people. We're gonna have guns and drugs. Okay, white people is sex trafficking and rape and watching child pornography.
Right.
So now, now as a culture, the laws won't affect us. Okay, the law didn't affect us before. What it did was it was allowed Planned Parenthood to move in our communities and had black people thinking that all these black women is running and having abortions. And even in Baltimore, they found that 60% of the patients that go to Planned Parenthood downtown are young white girls that's in college. So once we get over the stereotypical thing, it's not going to affect our community. We're not running around having babies. It's a certain amount of guys that's having 6 and 12 and 13 babies. We don't have them in droves. Because if it was, then the LGBT community wouldn't be raised in our community. And we actually support it. Even though the media will say, oh, black people are homophobic. How? If you actually look around in our communities, every act, every protest, everything that goes on in the United States is part of our community. You know what I'm saying? It's rare that we don't have what the media say, oh, well, we believe in this, but so do black people. What it is that they're mad now because black women have decided to say, listen, white lady, this has nothing to do with us finally. As people running around and want to be feminists and all this other stuff, we as black women have been going on TikTok saying, listen, we ain't trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? We've been getting our asses whipped out here, and y'all said, oh, well, let's go deal with our problems. Marjorie Douglas said it best to Susan B. Anthony when she was talking about white women need to vote, you know, this other stuff. Frederick Douglass says, what you have going on between you and your man has nothing to do with the progress of my people. So she said it like, oh, well, before we give black people rights, let's deal with our white problem. I'm telling you right now, I don't give two shits about their decision for real. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
At the end of the day, it has it doesn't affect us in droves because now our population is not even being counted accordingly. Yeah, roll that up, yo.
But wait a minute, she was so quiet and just like,
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, look here. Me and Jude, we on the same street. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to be on the low.
Okay,
I was getting on the low with mine. That's why I kept looking down. I'm sitting there.
But she was just paying so much attention, and I'm like,
I'm going to go
I
back.
was like, did she know her?
Hey, look, that's why I got my camera pointed up. Because I got mine right here.
No, but when she did this, I said, oh yeah, she all right.
The lick and twist.
No,
I got some water right here where I'm dipping my finger and rolling it in the water, man.
Yo.
I got a little cup of water.
I'm sorry, Mike, because Mike was really getting this guy hook it up.
I agree with everything.
That took me out. I'm so sorry, Mike.
Come on, G.
I agree with everything he's saying because, see, I never dispute any of that because I knew all that was stuff that they created. But I'm saying, like I said at the top of the show, I think it's going to affect us in terms of medical wise because it's going to affect everybody. But I'm just thinking about our people.
It is
miscarriages.
Listen, this is the one
stuff like that. That's what I'm talking about.
So let me help
you out. You're going to need that.
Go ahead,
wait a minute, before you say what you say.
Huh?
Look, the reason, whatever that place is, Planned Parenthood is higher for the white people than the black people because the black people are keeping the babies and collecting government assistance or not collecting government assistance. That's just how I feel. A lot of black girls, because they can't afford it, they don't have the proper insurance because abortions don't get wasn't covered on your insurance, and a lot of people don't have good insurance. But when you do have parents that have good jobs, you can go to places like Planned Parenthood or wherever the place is called, because I ain't never been, and get an abortion. But having these babies and regretting it.
All right, so let me help you out.
Before you say that, I just want to clarify. Planned Parenthood is highlighted all over, right, as the abortion capital. But Planned Parenthood also gives GYN services to the low income. So let's not knock it for that. So if you shut that down, you also shut that down. But then you also have places like Gynemed. You have some small clinics within hospitals that also do abortions. My question would be, were they also included in this research study for the statistics? But on the flip side of that, I want to also add, as a person, at one time I had their perinatal for between 5 to 6 years. I do agree with Jude to a degree, and I also agree with them. But what I said it will affect us on healthcare is because you do have a lot of moms, especially if they're going to be young. There were a lot of young girls who were violated, pregnant, didn't know what to do, didn't know where to seek help. Even if they wanted to abort, they couldn't. Some of them didn't even know how to take care of themselves. Some of them weren't seeking prenatal care because they didn't have healthcare coverage. They didn't have jobs. They didn't know where to turn or look. They just somebody just happened to tell them, you need to go in there. And then they would go with me and I would have to work through that. So when I say when you working in it, you kind of see a difference. Not saying like, just saying like that's the end all be all. But when you're in it, you see it from a different spectrum. So when people say, "Oh, it's not," it definitely is. And as a woman, and you see some women, and once that option is taken, think about how many young girls or women who are violated by family members, boyfriends, and all these things going to try to abort themselves and probably end up killing themselves. So you're going to have a suicide rate or a homicide rate that's going to go up because they can't get rid of these babies. And it happened in the past before abortions were legal. So what do you think going to happen now?
All right, so let me help you out. So, because I realize y'all don't like y'all. I'm a politic person, so let me tell you how this works. When they got rid of Roe versus Wade, right? Roe v. versus Wade, they're gonna go and do a whole healthcare package for each state to benefit from taking on this bill. This bill don't go into effect until next year, right? Now, in the southern states with a low white population, because their towns are dying, have put everything, have took this law and automatically instituted it, right? We're going to get a whole slew of healthcare benefits, okay? So we're like the only country that don't have universal healthcare, right?
I agree.
The only reason why they were so fighting about universal healthcare was because they included a cause for abortion. And I mean a full cause for abortion. This was their fight. It had nothing to do with one-time pay or none of that, okay? So now this is gone, right? This is gone, right? This was
Where you get that from? Where you get that information from? Can you send me that?
Yeah, I'll send it.
Because
I was waiting for
because
this.
the number one thing the reason why this country we are the worst when it comes to healthcare is because of the financial market. It's money in healthcare. It's money in pharmaceuticals. Healthcare is not affordable here in the United States at all. Period.
That's not true. So what they say,
it's very much true.
It's not. What they say is this. I will prove it to you.
We can go. Be around next week because I'm gonna give you the breakdown of it. I'm gonna tell you why, because that has been researched and studied over and over. The United States of America is the worst when it comes to healthcare.
But I'm gonna tell
you,
they
make it a money market and they overcharge. And if you think about it, and even still when you work, and even the healthcare costs, even when you think about people that's just trying to seek care. That's why Obamacare came. That's why so many they trying to do all, but it was still a money. No, I'm just saying it was hit me out. It was still a money thing. So when people say, "Oh, no healthcare," I work and I even say healthcare is very much expensive.
I'm
so
for healthcare.
Who can't afford it?
Let me tell you what happened. So Obamacare, that's not Obama's bill. So let's stop giving him credit.
That's not. No, you missed the point. That's not what I was saying.
All right, so listen. This healthcare bill was introduced in 1996.
Right.
So when the healthcare, listen, because as a nation, we are supposed to take care of our people. This was the argument, right? They couldn't agree with.
You read the bill?
Yes, I got both.
The whole thing.
The whole 2000 something bill. I was a political.
And you read the revised bill as well, right?
I read the revised bill that they passed because I'm a debater. Okay?
And you know it changed again, right?
Again, they're gonna change it this year. That's what I'm saying. They about to add this year. They about to change it. Okay, this had nothing. The first bill was about giving Black people the best care they could get. That's why the first bill didn't go through. Okay,
it didn't go through because of Medicare.
No, it wasn't. No, it didn't go through. This was the argument.
Go back and read it. Go back and read it because it also was mainly for the elderly.
Yes, but this is what they said, right? It didn't go through because of us. They already had a plan to raise in Social Security retirement limit because they tried to raise it together. That was part of the bill. Okay. They had to do it's just 3 studies that is done each year, and it has something to do with our longevity. You know what I'm saying? It's our longevity. We live the longest. Even when we have the poorest health care, but on record, we are documented in the United States to live to about 115 years. Okay? When they passed Obamacare, again, the biggest argument was they didn't want to cover full abortions, right? I know it because I was using Obamacare when I got both my eye surgeries, and they covered both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they didn't. That's what the argument was. Her state, right? Her state. All right, because when you pass a federal bill, it affects every state. Texas argued it. Alabama.
You sure about that?
Yes, it does. Every time you pass a federal law, it affects all 50 states. Like right now, the Supreme Court.
But all 50 states have a right to also
revise,
recreate within that law. But every state don't function the same.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. When Obamacare was made, that's why Florida did not honor it. Florida blocked it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Florida said we will not let Obamacare be active in Florida. They didn't. So you know what I'm saying? They didn't even let it affect Texas until after the snowstorm, and then they had to implement it because a lot of people froze to death in their houses. We're gonna get back to Roe versus Wade. It does not affect us. We can have 1 million kids.
I disagree. I completely disagree.
We can have as many kids as we want. That's not what they're worried about. If you ever read the book called Birth Dearth, right? The guy who actually was involved and instrumental about getting this overturned, they used this book. This book showed that in metropolitan areas, the white population dropped so bad because we don't leave where we are born. We don't. Majority of white people start off, you go to Carroll County right now, majority of them started off on the farm. Where the majority of them live right now, downtown. Okay, so we don't leave where we're from. We don't have this small hick town thing. We got to get out. That's not what we doing. Okay, their towns are dying. Like right now, they got towns for sale. Right now, I looked at it. I'm trying to buy me one. Okay, because their population are dying. Okay, in the book Birth Dearth, he said this. He said in every metropolitan built city, that means from England, from Russia, to America, to Greece, they are not babies.
Can I add something? That's what we said at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, but I'm coming.
We said at the
beginning of the show that they reversed Roe versus Wade for them, not for us. That's what we said.
Right.
It's because of them, not us.
Exactly.
We just said
I'm not saying
we're not going to be affected. I'm trying to tell you.
I disagree.
When I say us, I mean, okay, I'll be more specific.
I think we're going to be.
I know it's going to affect us black women.
Okay, hold. You know what? If a woman has an aseptic pregnancy, what is she going to do if she can't get an abortion?
Let's listen, bro.
Or product pregnancy. What is she going to do? She's going to die.
If you watch, we watch for colored girls. You know that we always had a place where you could do these surgeries.
No. Hold on.
We've always had it because we operate in the black market.
I'm thinking on the deeper note, though.
Okay, but Mike, look at how many black women in the day when on the black market getting abortions lost their lives. Look at how many.
It's doing pregnancy. You know how many black women lose their lives having birth?
BBLs,
I understand that.
Yeah, like we lose our lives in the hospital.
When they were.
Issue is, I feel like the issue, women, us as women, fighting for everything. First of all, we had to get the right to be women, the right to work certain jobs, the right to get the fair education, right for everything. But when it comes to this, like when we speaking of like women's rights, I watch these shows where 99.9% of the crime that happen towards the women, kidnapped, assault. Like, it's a whole show called See No Evil where 99.9% of the crime of women, young girls getting of crimes on there are females getting caught up, snapped. You know how many women killed a man because he had sex with a daughter and the daughter had a baby? The man had his daughter locked in the basement. She had kids and stuff. Like, it's so many rights. Like, I think the problem is too many, men making decisions for women, and it's not right. And they use the word politics. Use the word politics as it, but it's more men in politics than it is, and it's too many men trying to tell us what to do, like they've been telling us what to do. But after the problem, they brainwashing y'all to get everybody to the men to thinking that it's cool, and they're using the word politics, but to everybody.
Right. So listen. But listen to me. No political action have stopped a black woman from doing what she want to do. Period. Right. So let's be clear. Right. This is facts. This is facts. Even doing slavery. The reason why we got into women politics was in the 1970s. Okay, so let's be clear. The women's right movement was to destroy the civil rights movement. That's what it was. That's what it was made for. Right. So when you talk about women's rights, we talk about it's never been a black woman have never been able to do what
Can I ask one question? Can I ask you one question?
And that's on my great grandma.
Are you a woman?
Huh?
Are you a woman?
No, but hold
on.
I didn't hear the question. What was the question?
I asked, is he a woman?
No.
Okay. Do you understand? Do you know what it feels like to be a woman?
No, but I said
okay. Do you know anybody? Okay, so let me say this. So when you say certain things like that, it could take away from the purpose of, like I said, of experiences. It may be. My thing is, when it comes to some research can also be manipulated. Let's not forget that. It can be manipulated to fit a narrative, right? Right. So on top of fitting the narrative, we got to be careful about what research we pay attention to. Yes, I'm not saying that you're completely wrong. However, Jude did make some very, very good points when it comes to women. When we're violated in certain things, a lot of things happen to young women. And I'm only speaking from experience working in lower income communities, working in hospitals, working with pregnant women, working with pregnant teens. Yeah, hold on. Let me hold on. Because you gotta let me get it out. Let me get it out, though. What I'm talking about on that side when it comes to the Roe versus Wade and the whole abortion thing. When you say nobody can stop women from doing what they want to do, women were stopped from doing what they wanted to do. Women were stopped from having control. Hold on, from having control over their bodies. Back. Let me tell you, back then, how you said backyard this, backyard that. Do you know how many women had infections? How many women died from them infections from going through backyard abortions and doing all of those things? So how can you say, okay, fine? Is that what you want? Sister wants to see another sister because she been hold on, let me finish. We let you get it all out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me just get this out. What I'm saying is on that aspect of it, you got to think. Just think about with this, and when this comes into place and that right is being taken away, we're going to go back to that. And women who getting that, young girls who going and either taking a bunch of pills, killing themselves, committing suicide. It's a whole bunch of other things that come along with that other than that. So, and like Jude said, you have men that got an opinion all the time about what women should do with their bodies, how our bodies operate, what we feel like during birth, what we feel like if we were violated, what we feel like if something happened to our daughter, or if it was your child, your daughter, your sister, whatever, who was violated. You trying to tell this woman that got raped, she got to live with from that rape, the product of that? Is that right? But all of these men in politics, like you said, because you're the politic man, they want to agree with that. That don't make it right.
What you mean they had more women advocating for this? Let's be clear.
Look at them women, though.
Listen, what I tell you, when it has nothing to do with this is not a black issue. This will not affect us. We did not advocate for this shit. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm not doing none of that shit. When people talk about the experiences, do you work in a diverse place where majority of women are white? We always go about our experience, but it's a black experience.
Yes, I do.
You see what I'm saying?
Like
we
it
have
is
we
black
go,
and fucking
stop and
experience
listen
when
to
you
me.
see a whole bunch of them, and it happens
Let me
often.
finish. We as black people cannot get involved in this shit because all we have is a black experience, right? Our black experience, listen to me. Our black experience have been different since they freed our black asses. Okay, my great grandma.
We ain't free. Who told you we was free?
Let me finish.
I know you fucking wrong.
Listen to me, but listen to me. My great grandmother was 103 years old. Every law that they've ever put out that either was tailored to us or were able to keep us in line, or they benefited from, we as black people, even to this day, have always operated in the black market.
What if they told you to get your penis snipped? Would you do it? Would you do it? No, I'm asking you a question.
What you mean?
I'm asking you a question. If they said, okay, you know, all men gotta.
I've been a criminal my whole life. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's not what I'm
trying to tell you this. I'm telling you.
Why you yelling?
We have always operated in the black. Listen to what I'm telling you. It sounds funny, but we have always operated in the black market. Okay, right? They stop for us to get guns. We have tons of guns. Okay, listen what I'm telling you. So, and this is a thing that you need to hear. We've always moved around. When women used to have babies in the South, in the Delta, in Mississippi, in Florida, the family sent them away to the other family that took care of them. Listen, we as a community, this is what I'm trying to tell you. As a community, we always make it work. We know what this is about. This has nothing to do with us. It wasn't a whole bunch of black women dancing and celebrating. It was a whole bunch of white women dancing and celebrating. Okay? The people who advocated this were advocates for women's rights. There was no niggas out there. Let's be clear.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm not saying that you're completely wrong.
You know what I'm starting to see?
We let you go. Let you go but the thing is, I'm focused on the women that's in our community.
You cannot go about our.
You don't have
we
to.
Operate in the dark.
Woman, as a mother, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I am. You can't say you're not going to because
as a woman. I don't have
the whole.
Right.
Well, listen. This is how I feel. I feel like I'm a woman that does not have children, but what I'm starting to see is a lot of parents killing kids because they tired. And I'm seeing a lot of younger ones killing their kids. And when I was growing up, it wasn't a black thing, but I'm seeing it now too. And I think where you think that things don't affect us,
it does.
It does. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because one thing I've noticed, and this might change the subject a little bit, but let's talk about crime. Before the internet came out, they've been showing us that the inner cities was horrible because the shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Yep. But you watch these in these movies, they show you that the rural areas have some sinister whole show called Homicide for the Holiday. I don't see too many of these shows. I see us on the first floor, live feed, PD cam, court cam, you know, stuff like that. You got like Nightmare Next Door and stuff like that. Excuse me, show, but you know these little things, the ID channel, stuff, they got whole shows dedicated. But all I'm saying is, this couple years I've been saying that these white crimes no more, black crimes too. So when we say things like decisions that they make for the world don't affect us, I don't say they do affect us because we starting to do the same thing they doing. And lose his job, he coming through killing the whole family now. You feel me? The girl don't want to be with me. We used to see babies missing and pregnant girls. Man, that was never black crimes. Now you got this big the girl from here around with her nephew Trump a year and some change. You feel me? And this is things you never seen in our community. So when you say that things won't, because one thing I've noticed that we don't do as people is well only. We do things that other races. And we starting to come, you know, out of that, but it's sad. We've been following them, and we doing a lot of things that people do in general.
Right.
So it does. I think that stuff affects us, no matter.
Yeah.
It else is harder.
Mike
What's
got
that noise?
Pay me later, Rick. That was me.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was clapping. Give it a clap.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No, but that's all I'm trying to say. I mean, but that's pretty much what I was trying to explain to Mike. Like, I'm not saying I fully disagree with you. You made some great points. However, we do as a community always be like white and black problems, not knowing when you say political and statistics, it still affects our communities in ways, even when we don't think so, and we don't pay attention to what's going on. We don't pay attention to what's going on in our local government, in politics or anything, and that's why so many laws pass. So when people be like, "Oh, we free," when we was free, no, we still enslaved in a way. I'm just saying, I'm just no. I'm just saying. That's what I'm like. No, I don't. Whenever people say that, I'm like, no, we're not, because it's still systematic and all. It's just another type of agenda. But what I'm saying is, you still can't take away from experiences. You still can't take away that it will affect someone, and then you never know what this change can do to somebody you may know, somebody family, and it could be a bigger issue. We've seen that issue, and I mean, just because it may not, most men will not fully understand, but women are going to be more empathetic. I'm not talking about, I know which women you talking about. I'm not paying attention. My thing is, I like to look out for mine, which is women that look like me. And I know how it affects women that look like me. That's the standpoint that I was coming from. Again, I'm not saying that you're completely wrong.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you got to also widen the view a little bit. Look at it from a different lens. Sometimes we gotta widen the lens and the scope of how we view things, and stop saying what doesn't affect us, because when you look, it does.
This is my thing.
Look at the damn stemmies. That affected everybody. We thought it wasn't going to affect.
Let me explain something.
No.
When the Supreme Court, when any law overturned, you can always go back and have this law federally put on the books. So black women feel so strongly about this shit. Organize your motherfucking selves, because any law can be challenged, right? So you can't. This is not like the end all be all. It's just that black women as a whole has said. Like, I've watched it. I watched the interview online. I watched another interview, and black women are saying we don't care anymore. You see what I'm saying?
We don't. Can you send me them?
I'll send you. It was a whole female panel because black women are saying, well, how do you go out, especially when you find the nature of this bill and why this bill was created, right? You say, why would we care if socially we've gotten the end of the stick, medically we've gotten the end of the stick, right? And now you want us to worry about, having babies, right? When you've never cared about the black community having babies. You've never cared. It's never been It's never been a place.
What you laughing at?
Me?
Yeah.
Don't pay me no mind. It's the private chat. It's TV going a lot in this private chat.
So it's never been a case where they actually gave us something, right? For our problems, Asian Americans got a hate bill crime. These foreigners got like $8.5 million to come their asses over here. They have never given us anything to tailor us, okay? And to the guy that was quoting the Bible, if you lean on that as your understanding, my brother, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, man, our race has to understand that majority of these bills, majority of these people who are protesting, the majority of these people that organize do not include our opinions. You understand? That's why I said when they passed the Roe versus Wade, there wasn't no niggas involved in organizing that. They would have been shut that down. Okay, so that's why I say even if the after effect of what they say that they're gonna do, right? He cheated.
Just keep going, Mike. I'm sorry.
Let me see the
I'm not
comment.
going. I'm gonna close this because
Yeah.
we're doing a whole lot over here.
So my thing is what are the factors? Of course, all we prepared in a large scheme of things of how to deal with this. Yes.
No. You think so?
Yes. And
Okay.
listen.
Explain it to me. Until I think so.
So we're gonna talk about we're prepared for it because we are the generation that's not keeping family secrets. Okay.
True.
We are the generation that's not
That
keeping
is true.
family secrets.
We tired of
Anything
them.
goes
And I also must say, I see this generation, even if it's no matter what it may look like, it may not seem right to everybody. I do see more younger people sticking together as a family unit.
Yeah,
I
they get
can
married more.
say it seems like they're getting it.
Right.
Where the ball was dropped, they're trying to piece it together. It may get a little janky, but for the most part, even when it comes to co-parenting and all of those other things, I think they figured out a formula in some way. To me, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I do see a difference.
But we are coming out. We are coming out of the family secret. But grandma knew that uncle was the pervert and kept him a secret. Yeah, we way past that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody keeping nobody no secrets. You know what I'm saying? And now generation believe in reciprocity and solve problems immediately. So from us reflecting, right?
They're keeping family secret.
Right, exactly. Right. So yeah. But we're yeah, but we
what's going on? Like I hate what's your family?
Can I ask the question to the panel? All right, so
Yep.
Idris, Mike,
Yep.
and Jude. Can I ask y'all a question?
Yep.
Okay.
We have a comment from Mr. Daytrick Bradwick. Which one of you lovely guys would love to read it?
Let me see.
I don't know what is that. I was trying to look for the comments.
Bosco said, let me see.
Oh man, he be writing these long. Let me see. I got my phone. Hold on a second. I'll read it. Oh
Yes.
dang. Abortion has divided our society like few
Yeah,
other
he be saying
topics.
us a lot. I know.
Huh?
Oh yes.
The Bible places the highest importance on human life. That's which one you talking about. You want to read, right?
Right. That's what yeah.
Okay. God treats it as sacred and invaluable, and that's because He created us in His own image. This is why the Bible identifies a baby as being fully human. The Bible says, "You made all these delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb."
Scripture. You supposed to say it like
39, 13, 15. Okay. Some people don't believe abortion is wrong because they see it as a solution to a problem. How can we solve one more problem by allowing another?
He done?
That was it?
That's
Yeah,
it?
that was it.
All right, let me address this shit. Okay, let's be clear. Okay, let's not know when people don't
Hold up. Can we just shout out to Mike for licking the fingers?
We'll get into this shit here. Listen.
Yeah.
Pick up another book. Okay, there's a form in history that have been shown, even back to the Greeks, when babies were born and they were deformed, they tossed their ass over the cliff.
Yeah.
It's also proven that in Jerusalem they had a god called Moloch that they sacrificed newborns to. So I'm not trying to hear that shit. When I'm telling you as a person,
the country that they still kind of.
Yeah, the people who believe this,
I don't
believe this book and tell about how woven and precious we is, fine. That is your belief. But at the end of the day, we deal with logic here. Logically, it's been proven that if a society seen a baby with a short arm, that baby died. If that baby came out and had a short leg, they killed him. You have religions that even was in the Holy Land that practiced sacrificing babies. So all that sounds good to prove a point, but to be logical is that this has always happened. There has been always some type of abortion, whether it's before birth or after birth. There's always been an abortion.
I see it this way: if you have a miscarriage, you got to. I mean, I can't go for that Bible verse. Nothing personal, but I can't roll with that because there are reasons why you need to have an abortion. Yeah. You know, I mean, if you're just having kids just to have kids, you got to live with. You got to take those L's. But if it's gonna, like, I go back to aseptic pregnancy, epotic pregnancy, and marriage. I mean, miscarriages. You got to have an abortion on those. Women's gonna die. It's gonna mess her up. You know, that's my take on the Roe versus Wade thing. That's why I say it would affect us because with healthcare, we don't go to the doctor for nothing.
And that's the problem. And I'm sick of y'all coming in the doctors when y'all all janked up.
Yeah, I can't go for the Bible thing.
The emergency room is
no
not
disrespect, but
the doctor's office. Get yourself a PCP, Africa's America. The emergency room is not, and it is not your primary care.
Who you said?
For emergency.
No, back up. Who you said? Who? Africa's of Americas?
Africa's Americas. But
Mommy, I'm hungry.
Back to the Bible. Get the Bible. In the beginning of the Bible, the Old Testament, God was not a forgiving God. And then they just wrote the New Testament, and then he just was God.
The man stopped talking.
I don't believe in none of that stuff. Virgin, the old days version, of this person version, of that person version. I ain't believing it. All that scripture stuff. I don't want to hear none of it.
I don't want to hear
none of it. You can get the Bible written. I can write the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeezy wrote a version of it. At this point, should show y'all something. Yeezy wrote a version of the Bible. So all I'm saying is you can't go off the word. It also says that same book that the devil will make a believer out of anybody. So you got to be careful of the word you follow.
That part.
I don't know. I just want to
go ahead, preacher.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So
it
is. So is everybody coming back?
Yep.
In 5 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna take a quick 5-minute break. There is something that I want to discuss, and don't laugh at me for why I want to discuss it. Okay. So Mike, you finish eating your sandwich. Jude, you go ahead and go in the clouds. Me and Bosco gonna do what we usually do and cut up during the break.
I was doing what Jude was doing.
Oh, okay. You gonna get
I just did mine on the low. You told me move like that. Yeah.
All right. So we will be back in 5 minutes. Thank you guys.
I gotta work third shift tonight, so hey.
All right, so everybody go take a bathroom break, grab something to drink. We'll be back in 5.
A whole bunch of I said we cool.
What about Drake? You like Drake?
No. My man.
He didn't even say a little bit. He didn't even say halfway.
That's my guy right there.
No.
That's why X is necessary in the game right there.
Okay. Now, why don't you like Drake?
I don't like anything about Drake.
I
don't like his voice. I don't like what he talks about. I don't.
See, I be trying to tell these face.
I don't like the way he walks, like nothing. I don't like his haircut. I might just let me shut up. I'll just stop right there.
Oh my God. Damn it, man.
No, but listen, that's why DMX is necessary.
Welcome back to the Kazual Konvo show with me, Coco, my co-host Boscoe from the Bronx, the beautiful and creative artiste herself, the Jude creation, and of course, Mr. Controversy, Mr. Debate, Mr. I'ma always cause ruckus no matter where I go, Mr. Troublemaker, but one of the coolest dudes ever, Mike.
What's up, y'all?
So, good first half. We talked about a lot of abortion. Mike enlightened us on a lot. We disagreed with Mike a lot. So the topic for tonight is open discussion. We are talking about pretty much anything, everything that come out here. First discussion, Bosco kicked it off. He went first with the Roe versus Wade. We went into that, but I want to talk about the cross dresser that just shot up the parade.
The who?
Why?
Wait, what?
Did y'all
Wow.
see
Yeah,
he
look it
dressed
up.
as a woman? He dressed as a woman to try to disguise himself because he had tattoos and stuff on his face. That guy that
Yeah,
shot
I
the
look this
parade.
guy up.
So my thing is with that, we are noticing more and more mass shootings publicly at different parades, LGBTQ, especially with children, schools. What do you guys think about that? Because I'm noticing, you know how before it was like maybe you might have heard about them publicly once or twice a year, something like, something like that, or every sporadic, but now it's like every other week, once a month. It's more frequent. Why do you guys think that happens?
The chicken's
Jude,
coming
we
home
already
to
know you
roost.
watch the ID channel, so I know yours gonna be good. So you go last.
Chicken's coming home
right.
to roost. This is the way it's always been. They don't care. They have no value for life. Because the way I look at this, and people may call this a racist remark, but these are my views and not the views of hand radio, and all that. They've always been this way. That's the way I see it. They've always been this way.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, this is not the views of hand TV. So let's be clear.
Yeah, that too.
Depending on Mike, what Mike may say, they may not be the views of Coco neither. But if I agree with him, they my views.
So okay, so this is the only race of people that don't give a fuck about the Constitution. Okay, so let's be clear. These are the only people that think that they're extinct and being replaced. White men. It's a guy that's on TikTok. He said he did a TED talk. These are the lies that their fathers and grandfathers and all have fed them, that they're being replaced. This was a white person's country. This was made for white people. Okay, we're seeing more mass shootings because the narrative didn't change. So it's a narrative called the lost cause narrative, right? So after the Civil War, they let the losers write the history and all these Confederate monuments and all this other nonsense that you want to honor all these failed people. Mm-hmm. This narrative is still being passed down that they're being replaced, right?
Yep.
And if I tell a kid right now, we get a whole bunch of black kids and we say we're being replaced, and teach them how to fight, shoot, bombs, and then we make something called the Turner Diaries, right? And we take that book, and when we preach about that, we preach about that.
Coronavirus.
And then we make training camps in Idaho.
So they held the smokers. I believe he started closing.
So the Turner Diaries, and I use that, and then we start making makeshift prepare for war, race wars coming, and all this other goofy shit, right? Mm-hmm. Not only that, these mass shootings aren't where black people are at.
You want some water?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where black people at. So they're not going to. Yeah, so they're not going into our communities where we're outside. Okay. Not one mass shooting have you seen them come in the hood. Mm-hmm. Because if they're dying, right? You're dying. You say you're dying, right? Higher Learning talked about this when he was talking to Remy, and he was like, "You talking about a race war? Have you shot anybody?" Black people, we practice race war every day. Chicago, Baltimore, right. New Orleans, okay, Los Angeles. Not only that, they know that.
Alabama. Right,
they're not going into L.A. where the Bloods and Crips at. Nope. You know, you in a race war, you want to meet the Army, right?
Right.
No. You know, yeah, you want to go see where the Army at. You want to go to Chicago with the gangster disciples and the black disciples having war. You want to go in California with the Bloods and Crips been beefing since 1970. Like, you want to go out and prove yourself. Like, well, if we're dying, let's take on their strength. No. These cowards are doing everything that they can possibly do. And they're targeting soft targets. It's just like the Klan is the same shit.
Mike, take 30 seconds. In your throat.
Yeah, so listen. So just like the Klan, when people think about us being lynched, right? The majority of the people that were lynched were business owners and women. Okay, they never went into but they tried. They tried to go into Atlanta, right? They tried to go into Atlanta. They informed that the Klan was coming, right? All the store owners was told not to sell guns to black people. And their idea was, if you was my complexion or darker, you were black. Right. So if you was light skinned, you could pass for white. Those were the ones that brought the guns and gave it to the black community. Those were the ones that brought the bullets. So when it was time for them to meet us on the even playing field, they end up getting into a shootout and running. This is the same tactic. The difference is that they don't care about white allies. Well, they never did before, but they really don't now.
Right.
So they think gay people are allies to the black movement, and the fault why their population is going down. Right, the feminists is their enemy because they have pushed the narrative to be independent. And it's funny because white women do it all the time. They go home to their husbands. So, so those.
That's the reason for mass shootings, though, Mike.
Yeah, hell yeah. They have to prepare. In their minds, they think they're preparing for war, so they're going out to practice. Think about it. That guy went all the way to Buffalo. He went to Buffalo in a grocery store the day before. He know no hood niggas in no damn grocery store. He went there the day before to see that.
There's some validity to what Mike is saying, because if you notice,
it is.
Like he said,
because I agree with Mike, but I feel like it's just a more simple answer to what you're saying. Like, I feel like back in the day, I feel like it's deeper than black and white. I feel like back then they was like teaching it in private, but with now you got technology and all these shows and movies, it's being taught in a different way. It's being taught by, because I feel like they've been saying like for years what we see on TV affects like everything. So at first it was a whole era of them just showing like the black in the city, hood, drugs, all that stuff, gangster type stuff. But then it was they crap up on us with like these crime and them crime shows. You know how many documentaries there's about serial killers and all that stuff. Like it's being taught, like it's being taught every day, and it's been accepted. Like these shows that's on TV, like it got everything to do with what you're saying. But I think the narrow it down is because it's being seen every day. The same way, like what we watch. See, what we sit in the house and watch is ratchet TV. You feel me? I don't watch ratchet TV. I watch crime TV. You feel me? You feel me? Then you got some people who might watch sports. You feel me? But just hear me out. It's a whole bunch of people that watch crime. You feel me? And you got to think about the people that watch it and got like the mindset to do some of the things that they watching, and saying people get away with it, and then the way they advertise it now, they get more creative. You know how many shows there's about Manson or H.H. Holmes or what's his name? Bundy. The same movie, so they teaching it over and over again. We as black people documentaries, like as an adult, yeah, you feel me? Like I see more young white kids in the gun range than I do black people. Now you see it more now because now everybody want to do it. But like we was already doing it because we was growing. We was always taught, don't buy my son no gun. Don't give my son no gun. I don't want my son to have no gun. Whereas we didn't understand the importance of a little boy learning how to actually shoot a gun. We was taught the wrong way. You feel me? Like, I don't know. I feel like now it's being taught and people doing it. Go ahead, Mike.
Can I add my 2 cents before you go, Mike?
Good.
I agree with everybody. I also think Jude made some good points. I think sometimes, like when we said, even in the beginning of the show, we were talking about how things are made to appear okay, or what's accepted, what's glorified, what's being sensationalized as though, okay, this was cool and this was the thing to do, like it was okay. So then you do have the copycat people who want to try to do the same thing and think they're going to get the same notoriety, or people. Then you also have an increase thing where people go through their little mental things that's going on, and then you have most of them go and try to plead insanity to get off. But at the end of the day, I think it's more so about people know they can get away with it, or they feel like they can get away with it. I mean, just look at how bold that they've been in the matter of they just don't care. So if you look at the state of the world and everything that's going on, nobody's really like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God, did you see what happened? Da-da-da-da-da. And then they all over the news, all over everything. Some people want to go out as like an order, whatever, so to speak. People really want that. And then you have some people that are just hateful. Like you see people that's killing kids, going killing sprees, killing black people. You still seeing black people being lynched. You're seeing a whole numerous amount of things, but I think we just live in a world now that before everything is on social media. So it's more widespread and noticeable now because of phones, because of, everything has to be posted. But I think it was happening before. It just wasn't, the internet and technology wasn't the same. So I think technology changed a lot of that too.
Yeah, let me say something right quick before you go on, Mike. It's actually feeding on what you're saying, because if you look at the shootings, not many black people are victims. And you look at the shooters, maybe 1 in 20, maybe other than white. We just don't. It's just like if they're weak. It's weak-minded. I mean, what Mike said it just nails it. I mean, it's on you, bro.
Nice.
It nails it.
Let me explain what y'all. About the desensitization of us. So that has nothing to do with mass shootings. So the desensitization and the crush our self-image was done on an international scale.
Big time.
When I was locked up as a juvenile, an Indian guy, black guy. When he came over, before he could come over, because they vetted them back in the day. They didn't want no political and radical Africans, Indians, because then they would align with us and take on our cause. Right. So what they did was they showed them gangster movies and us standing on corners and told drugs and all that. This even happens in the African community now. And they say, well, stay away from them. Stay away from African Americans because they sell drugs, they lazy, all this other stuff. So that was done on the international scale for us not to have any allies. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about now. There is a whole group of people that went and protested in Virginia, and a slogan was, "I will not be replaced." And during that protest, they was beating up black people and actually killed the white woman. They killed her. The man ran her over.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember that a couple years ago.
Yes, so this has nothing to do with the ID shows. It has nothing to do with them having mental illnesses. This has something to do with a whole group of people that have a major reach now. See, at first, they had to go into communities like Hagerstown and pass out flyers that say black people bringing drugs in the community, protect our kids, and send them to us, right?
Okay.
The stereotype that we didn't learn rifle. I learned how to shoot on my grandmother farm, all of us, even my sister. So because we hunt, black people have always been hunters. So the propaganda for you to be afraid of a gun was to make sure that you don't practice your Second Amendment rights. And so they scared a lot of black women into teaching their sons to be weak. Because it's a book called Negroes with Guns, right? By a guy named Robert Williams, and this was written in the 60s. That when they came to get him, he shot at the sheriffs and then he ran to China. He recently died, I think, in 2017, 18. So Negro, they got books that was talking about against being nonviolent. These are the books that they don't show us during Black History. It's a whole collection. Okay.
Do Black History even month for stuff? That's just Black.
That's another topic.
That's another topic.
So listen. We'll talk about that later.
Make that next week's topic.
Yeah, next week's topic. But,
right.
Sure.
What I'm saying is that these people are being told they're being replaced, and these are their enemies. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch a documentary called Klan, and they actually show you when the Ku Klux Klan was on its rise in the 1920s, they had a march on Washington. But where do you think these people disappeared to? In the 1950s, it got bigger. These are your doctors, these are your police. These were the FBI had found out that these all the racial groups are in law enforcement.
Right.
What I tell people is, and now in 2020. It was 2015. They did an investigation and realized that during the biggest boom of military recruitment during 9/11, more gangs started joining the armed services. That they had to actually do an investigation for the Crips and the Bloods and all that, because we as Black people wised up. Mm-hmm. Because we're in a silent war, right? And we don't practice warfare. If Black people practice warfare like we supposed to, every time somebody do something to us and not get out here marching and all that type of stuff, the United States will collapse. So they know that they're not going against Boscoe, and they're not going to see Mike. They're not riding up Park Heights. They're not even coming into Baltimore City. Okay, the lynching happened. The last lynching happened was in Annapolis. Okay,
I don't think that has. I don't know.
It has everything to do with it, because you're not going to go to war.
Right. I don't feel like that has nothing. That's how I feel.
Jude, I'm waiting for your brethren to leave.
Well, look, we're going to debate on this, because there's a whole show called Evil Lives Here, where you may not think that these. So Evil Lives Here. The little boy, all them little mass shooting teenagers on there. The parents, when they talk about the help that they try to get the kid as a kid and all types of stuff, and when you think that this person, and that's some real stuff. You don't want to believe it, but when you work in child psychiatry, you see things like that. I used to be the type of person who used to feel like it's the parents' fault because this did that. But then when you get to see on the other side where this person, seen and tried to get the help, or tried to help the kid, or tried to that. Sometimes evil is evil.
You ready?
And it is what it is. And sometimes people wake up and just snap, like the little girl. The little boy. His father bought him a rifle because they was hunting. He decided to hunt elementary school kids. It just happens sometimes. And I can't blame it on a race thing. I can't put race on it because it really does not happen to Black people. I feel like the reason why is starting to happen more different in the community. Well, I'm gonna say this: it don't happen. Black people shoot up a cookout or a neighborhood or something like that. But the sit back and plot and go into a school and think of shooting up a school, it's just not heard of in Black community.
Let me
help you out.
I don't feel like.
I just want to get in. I want to get in.
Before you continue, hold on, because I'm gonna give you the floor just really, really quickly, just to piggyback on what you said. I think, again, both good points. I do agree with that. We can't just go away from experiences and a person seeing certain things hands on, right? So a lot of times we be like, no, that's not it. Everybody has different experiences. There's so many different ways to answer certain questions of why things happen. That's why we have conversations like this. So again, I'm saying all research is bad. I'm just saying a lot of research can be manipulated. But let's also not, and I always say it all the time, she mentioned mental health. Anybody can snap. Anybody is a situation away from snapping, waking up. You don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow and just like, you get what I'm saying? We never know. So I always say, yes, mental health, I think, does play a part, and a lot of times people around us ignore mental health. And if the sign could be there that you about to shoot up the whole school, just like we did have the black man, the little sniper up in DC. That was sniping.
I thought he was white.
So, I mean, right? We thought he was white, but look, we was like, damn, it was one of us. And had the son, like the guy in New York. That did the thing in New York, he was black. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we never know. We really can't call it a race thing. So it has to be an underlying issue. My thing is it's happening a lot more frequently. But I think also we always say technology changes and it makes us more aware of what's going on around us in other states and everything like that. But we can't say, I think in our communities, we do a lot of, that's not for us. That's not for us. That's for them. That's for them. That's for them. And that's for us. But at the end of the day, a lot of that stuff affects us all. And it does affect us in some way. It may not impact us drastically initially or have a sudden impact, but it does. And that's the part that we ignore. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, talk. Go ahead, talk.
I'm not trying to hear none of that.
You ain't.
I got homies.
Mike, this is where.
Listen.
Hold on, no, Mike. This is where me and you always get into it because you be like,
Yeah,
I ain't trying to hear none of
I ain't trying that.
No, but we do.
That's why I'm here for it because Mike.
Look, I got homies in jail for life.
You not, but you're not fully right.
Let's go. Let's talk. We
can talk, but you've been talking and we've been listening.
I'm be all quiet.
Completely wrong.
You ready?
You
ready?
Huh?
You ready now?
I mean, I'm already because since you already breathe, I'm going to.
You ready? Let me know when you're ready. Let me know when you're ready.
You ready? Go ahead.
All right, let's go.
You do that a lot, but go ahead.
If that was the case, if insanity is the plea that they can use, right, to avoid instant punishment, then where's the even playing field? I got homies doing life. You know what I'm saying? They only killed one person. If you're talking about mental, look, we at war 100% of the time as a people. You have to change. You have to code switch. You have to change your hair. You know what I'm saying? As black men, as big as we are in stature, I got to lighten myself up. If I go in my face, I'm 250.
Are we talking about something else or are we still talking about
why are we avoiding punishment? If you commit a crime, you're supposed to be punished for it.
But listen, they're not being punished. Where are they getting punished at?
That's when these
show me the mass shooters that got killed and not taken in. Not you sitting there.
I do agree with that.
Now that's a political issue. That's a political
This is us.
issue.
This is us.
The laws are more in favor for the Caucasian people.
Listen, what I'm telling you is that these motherfuckers is going out here killing in droves, right? This affects our community. This affects our community. This affects us.
Mike,
black people.
Can I ask Boscoe one thing?
Yeah.
You all right, bro?
I'm good. I'm just listening. I'm just listening. I'm good. I'm listening.
The gloves is off.
I'm listening. I'm good. I'm straight.
Stop.
No, I'm good. Y'all do the thing. I'm listening.
Yeah, so listen. So
I like to
you
disagree with Mike
all this hardship and all this old bullshit. The woman did. Her name is what is her name? Jane Elliott. This on the blue eyes and the brown eye fucking experiments around the world.
Yeah.
And the woman asks,
she's a beast.
If you want to be black, raise your hand. Nobody raised their hand. So
nobody raised their hand.
Like these motherfucking white people got it so motherfucking bad. No, we're at mental health every day. Every day. Motherfucker wake up every day, a motherfucker at the job fucking with you. You can't say nothing to them. You got to keep your composure. You have to be professional. You can't wear your hair a certain way. Okay? When you're outside, the one thing you scared black men was we couldn't wear hoodies. And that was even before they killed Trayvon Martin. Okay? So you're not going to tell me you have a whole community under siege mentally. So why aren't we clipping up, walking into elementary schools and going to war
because we're killing each other.
We got enough.
We're not killing up the schools, but we damn sure killing each other in our
They
community.
doing that shit.
Listen,
Don't get it twisted.
listen,
We
we
going
got
through
enough-
neighborhoods shooting kids. We killing kids in the neighborhood too.
But that
Trying
is
to kill one
wartime.
person.
Listen,
You know what we doing? We luring little kids into. We luring kids into
though.
alleys and assassinating them because we want to get at their fathers. We shooting through cars with kids.
That's war.
We
But
do
that's
stuff
war.
too. We do
That's
stuff.
war,
That's what I'm
though.
saying. When we put a race on it, we do some stuff too.
But that is war though. That's war. You know what I'm saying? That is war. That isn't you waking up tomorrow and saying, Jude, you know, I like you, but you ain't trying to give me none. So I'm coming.
That ain't got nothing to do with us killing each other.
I'm mad as hell, but you ain't trying to talk to me. So I'm gonna go into a community that got nothing to do with you.
Well, ain't got nothing.
I'm gonna shoot. And I'm gonna
These
shoot
people
the
took
whole.
for some reason too.
No, yo.
Everybody
What I'm
took
telling
for
you is
something.
that we.
Shannon makes the point when she said we do have mass murders just in our own community.
No, we had war with each other.
And
It's
I
always
just-
about a. Listen, when we go to. Listen,
No,
when
hold
people
on, Mike. Hold on, Mike. For 1 second, 1 second.
All right,
But
go
that's what I was. Thank you, Shannon, for saying that, because I literally just said that when we talk about that, we can't say we might not be they going up in this church or doing this, and it's all publicly on CNN. Look at in our communities when you see what's in Baltimore, you see 16 people, 4 people. That's
Man,
us.
But
Forget
that's
that.
war, though. That's
When
war.
they
That's
shooting
those-
up cookouts,
those are-
no,
look,
man,
listen.
forget that.
Black
It's
people-
not about a war. It's just a
It
different.
is.
It's
It
just
is.
a
No, it's
different
not.
look on it. No,
It's not.
No.
If we
Because
right
if
now-
you want to
right
kill
now,
that
if you tell
person, you
black
gonna
people,
wait till they
listen.
walk to their car and shoot them by themselves.
Listen.
If you see them at a cookout with kids and women and stuff in there, that's just as bad as walking
That's not how
into
we.
a mall and
Listen,
shooting
that's not how we taught. We taught nigga. If you catch a nigga, don't give a fuck where he at.
And
Get
they
him
was taught,
right now.
and the
That's
crazy
what we
part
was
is
taught.
they was taught to show no fear, and they just
So-
kill everybody.
But that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there's always an underlying reason why we do stuff, right? Like we don't wake up in the morning and say that my daddy taught me how to kill pigs. I'm gonna go out here in my school. No, we've been bullied. You've been poor. You've been joked on. Everybody that's on here, at some point in your life, somebody made fun of you.
Oh yeah.
So you saying I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna look at my mother in her face and say, Mom, I'm gonna go get this gun. My grandmother had a R6 behind her door and said, I wish you would touch it. My mother had a shotgun in her house. I wish you would touch it. Okay, I wish you would touch it. No, we are at war because of our financial. It's always been a financial war with us.
Yes,
it has never been. It's never been. It's never been that type of war where we sitting and we're going outside and I'm grabbing Bosco's son and I'm saying, listen, man, I want to recruit you. Okay.
I wish you would. He need a damn job.
Right, so,
shit.
Right. So it's never been that type of thing. The closest it has been was in the 80s with the Bloods and Crips. And to everybody outside of LA, it looked fucked up. That was the only time that we were actually killing each other.
So what happened now?
That the whole community didn't understand.
So what about now, Mike? Please voice that opinion.
It's always been about. It's always been financial, though. Yeah, it's always been financial. Right now, if they give you, listen what they said. Now we play this the reparations argument, right? So if we give everything that Black people need, right? Better schooling, better
He's trying to say mental health is not the thing, Shannon. We already said that. Mike wants to downplay everything.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that we.
That's the same thing that we were saying. And you was like, "That's bullshit." I'm not trying to hear that.
I'm not trying to hear that.
No. It's not because you got 2 people sitting right here that work in mental health. You cannot say that. That's what I'm saying. I did too. No. We hear what you're saying. We're not saying that you're wrong, but on the other side, you.
But I've been outside though. I got shot though. I was in jail. I got stabbed. Like I know what's going on inside when we outside. I know when it's get back. I know.
Okay. So the same way you don't want to downplay you getting shot, and we see it every day. We know people who got shot, people that got killed. What are you talking about? I'm telling you also is.
I'm saying there's a whole community though.
Listen, you know, one of the serial killers said serial killers only get caught if they want to get caught.
If they want to get caught,
when they get bored. You
To
feel
make
me?
it
So I feel
more.
like it's a different level of crime. So you got like the inner city crime, then you got your rural area crime, then you got your sinister shit. I just feel like it's the and then because they used to think that at one point in time you had to be unintelligent to commit such crimes until they realized that these people were actually like some
Geniuses.
genius
Hold on.
motherfucking people.
Brandon, Jude, I'm gonna let you get back to that, but let me just say one thing. Mike, let me talk to you real quick.
Yeah, talking. I'm listening. 'Cause
I feel like we be listening to you, we get it, but then you be blocking out everything, and then when it's a little bit calmer, you be like, yeah, and we like, we just said that.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you talk about mass shootings, right, on a larger scale,
But you brought in the local scale.
Yeah, but no. But we spoke on. But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is when we talk about mass shootings on a larger scale, right? These kids have been recruited. Daniel Ruth was recruited. Okay, he even said it. He spent he was lonely online, and somebody recruited him. Okay, this is same as when America, when it was in Afghanistan, and these white people went and joined Al Qaeda from their home.
Why the sniper was killing people? You remember?
Yeah, he was mad at his. That's a rarity, though. That's an anomaly.
No.
It's an anomaly, though. That is an anomaly, though. Let's be clear. Black people lean on.
Mike, I'm not
black people. I'm
saying that you wrong. Just saying that also other things. You got people that's just sick in the head.
Listen, man, out of 254 murders, how many of them you think it is because they mentally ill?
A lot of them.
When they get locked up. When they get locked up, in the Aryan Nation take them in. When they get locked up, when they go over
the jail. So we talk about inner city black crime. That's what we talk about.
No. We're talking about the mass shootings. We're talking like these kids.
That's why you confusing me because you mixing them.
I'm not. I'm showing you the difference. So we talking about.
No, I mean we know the difference, but when you speak on one, that's what I'm saying.
I feel like this. It takes less heart for a dude to see a dude that he don't like in the neighborhood, like start shooting up the neighborhood. It takes less heart to do that. You feel me, to do that when you try to shoot a target and shoot about 3, 4, 5 people. But when you actually picking up a gun and going into a mall or something or a church or whatever, and shooting people, I feel like it do take a different mindset. However, it mentally something is not right with you for you to want to get up and go and shoot up something.
No.
Why do you want to get up? Listen, it's just like you know what I'm saying? Because somebody said something about bullying. A lot of those kids, when it's kids, I can't say the adults. When it's kids, a lot of them do have a history of people picking with them or abuse from home or something like that. In the city. People,
we're not saying that's not the thing, Mike. That's not what we saying. That's why I said you got here so completely. That's not what we saying.
No, what I'm saying.
We just saying hear me out, just please. We just saying that it plays a part. We're not saying that's the complete part. We're not saying that this person complete insanity. Like I said, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but what I'm saying is what we tend to do. This is me on whatever mass, local, or whatever. It's still too much. And when you keep talking about we have the water, we just do it amongst ourselves. You know how? Do you want to just wake up and go shoot up a bunch of kids? No, something ain't like she's saying. There's something wrong up here. Regardless of what, even if you're getting recruited, even if you're doing something to carry those things out, something ain't right.
Let me. I'm gonna explain something. So this one, when the dude decided to blow up the Social Security building, right, and they killed all them children in Oklahoma, right? Mm-hmm. He went all the way to. He went all the way to Idaho. He went all the way to Idaho to be recruited, and the guy was telling him, "We are at war with everybody." What I'm telling you is that the message hasn't changed. You know what I'm saying? When I'm telling you from 1996 all the way to now, the white message hasn't changed. Now, if you want to go on mental illness and you want to give about 30% of the mass shootings, that's fine. But what I'm telling you at the whole, like I said, you can watch the TED Talk. The white dude said the message is being told at the dinner table. His grandfather had the same message. His father, listen to me. His father
Mike,
had
I
the
keep
same
listening
message.
to you, and I keep repeating to you. I'm not saying I'm disagreeing with you. I'm adding on to what you're saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying is like,
and I'm gonna also tell you this. I'm not even gonna say that if you want to really make that statement, let's take it back further to 1996 because that's been going on way before 1996. If you really want to be technical, so if you want to say
we're talking about now, like modern
entirety, because now you're gonna introduce a whole nother conversation. So that's all I'm saying to you is that we adding on to in addition to some other things of why.
No, you're making an excuse, like how I feel like you're making an excuse for these crackers. Like these crackers, these crackers.
I never made an excuse for anybody.
These crackers.
Are you gonna let me finish talking though?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. So what I'm saying to you is, when you started talking about our community, is when I mentioned that. When you start talking about people just getting up and doing that, yes, a lot of people in our community are mentally ill. They deal with PTSD, they deal with so things to get up here, and when you witness people die, funerals, people heads getting blown off in front of your face. Yes, that is an issue. Now, was I saying that? That's why I said, what are you talking about? Because when you mix the two, I'm replying based off what you're saying. So that's what I'm saying to you is, hear me out. And listen, I didn't say I disagreed with you. I'm adding on to what you're saying in reference to what you said. Now, when it comes to those other people, I feel like that's, if you can kill a bunch of kids, something wrong with you. If you can just go and walk in front of a bunch of people, I don't care if you was recruited, bullied, or whatever. And yes, some things are taught. But when you bring the race piece into it, let's take it back further than 1996. We're gonna open up a whole nother conversation. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when we was talking about the man shooting, right? And everybody leaning on these people get off with their sanity plea all the time. This is white privilege because this was made me mad about the situation because I watch it. I got homies doing life for murder. You feel me? They're not granted the insanity plea. They're not. They're not granted it. You know what I'm saying? It is not used as a defense. In period, it's not used for us. That's what I say. Like, if you wanted to talk about making it fair, nah, man. What I'm telling you is that
fair? Who used the word fair?
I'm saying like we wanted to make it fair. If we're talking mental health across the board, and it has to be delivered across the board, right? We as the panel, like we feel like mental health can affect anybody of any race, any color, any position, right? But why are these people given the fact that you can go shoot up a movie theater and then you get insanity pleas and then you know what I'm saying? You don't get any harsh treatment.
Because I feel like that's wrong. They shouldn't get no.
That's what I want to know.
Wait a minute, hold up. But like you shouldn't get a different treatment. But I feel like it's a different kind of mental health where I shoot and kill this person today, and then I go and shoot and kill this person tomorrow, versus I go and shoot up a whole place one day. And versus like I feel kind of different when you kind of live a street life and you in that shit, and you a teenage kid that's kind of going to school, getting bullied, getting beat up, all that type of stuff. Whether you black or white, I don't feel like that has a race to it. With that, I feel like any kid can snap.
Right. Yeah, any kid can snap. I believe that.
However, I feel like if it's provoked versus you doing it for clout, like most, I feel like most things in the community, it ain't what's the justify? Drugs, money, girl. What most of the crimes for? You feel me? Ain't because
for women. You know that it's for women. The crimes about women.
So you go shoot up a cookout. I'm gonna keep using a cookout because this is a real scenario. A cookout and shoot a couple kids, women, and miss your target. Shoot a couple people.
But it's a
wait a
difference.
minute, hold up. And then look, now you want to claim mentally insane.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't he? Why can't he? A motherfucker just walked into a grocery store and aired everybody out.
Hold on,
and came outside and said, "Listen, Jude. Listen, Jude. When you come see me, I'm crazy. I'm nuts."
I'm sorry, Mike.
I've been in there. I just had to calm down afterwards. After I put it
Hold on, Mike. This is serious though. This is
And
serious.
I put it on Twitch.
Hold on, Mike.
Had you seen me record it?
Mike, this is a serious thing. Let's go.
Oh.
Yo,
Come on.
I'm just listening, man. I mean, with me, okay, my opinion is, with you know, I guess we all worked in the medical field industry. I mean, my opinion with mental health is some people got mental health is different levels. You got those who just contemplate shit. You got those who just have it in their mind that they're playing it out in their head. They're not planning to do. That's the psycho types. Then you got the ones who just do it. They just snap. In our community, I think our community suffers from mental health because we've been through a lot of shit since we've been on this land. We've been through a lot of shit. We were put in a situation that we had to fight our way out of. So I think our violence compared to their violence, it is a difference. Because I kind of agree with Mike about war because it's about survival, to where theirs is about domination. I don't know, man. I just think I think some people do use the mental health excuse to get by. Because I notice when a white person does commit a mass shooting, they bring up all these excuses, mental health, he was bullied, depression, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. When a black person does something, they find every negative in his history to find a reason why he did it. Well, he was in prison, and I find even when black people do something good, like when the guy that rescued a white girl some years ago, mm-hmm. rather than give him the praise, like, yo, he did this, what they do, they dug into his background. Mm-hmm. So I think in our neighborhoods, we got a problem. And I agree with Mike that we're at war. I think we're at war with ourselves. In a war with this, we won't have any winners, man. To where they are, I think theirs is just about. Terrible, I don't want to call it entitlement, but I think they feel like they can get. I think they feel like they can get away with it.
No, it's just a form
I think
of terror.
they got that in their head so much that, like, if I do this, they're not going to shoot me. They're going to bring me in. I think they feel like it's entitlement. They just feel like they can get away with it. Like, I'll just say I'm crazy. You know, I mean,
this is not like, this is terror. This is perpetual terror. Okay, this is perpetual terror. This has nothing. That's why I keep saying. Y'all keep saying it's not mental health. I get it, but this is perpetual terror. Okay, this is you right now. If you go to New York and Rochester right now, and Buffalo, yo, they got guns going to the grocery store. They strapped up, like clipped up. You got right now. It's so bad the United States Supreme Court has stripped away all of the personal and you need a cause to own a gun in Maryland. They stripped it away as soon as they passed Roe versus Wade. So now, right now, everybody in Baltimore about to go take these HQLs and go get their carry. They can't be blocked anymore. Mm-hmm. Okay,
I know I am.
Right, because we are in terror. Okay, we are in terror. That's why they changed it, because they know that it's two options with this. One, the black people are going to get armed, and I'm talking about not registered. That's why Maryland changed the ghost gun law. Here, you can build your gun legally here. I built two of them. I got one of them downstairs, an AR-15. They don't have no serial numbers or nothing. I'm entitled on the federal level to have this gun.
Republic.
Maryland just passed. No. This is legal. This is all legal. You can do this. It's not illegal. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This isn't illegal. But what Maryland did was they say that if you have a ghost gun now, before next year, you have to get it marked with some type of serial number and registered with the state. Okay, because black people are being more aware of the rights that we have, because now we know we under war. At first, there was no technology. We didn't know, such and such of them got killed in a small town, and of course, it's unsolved mysteries, and they play it on ID and all this other stuff. We know now. The Supreme Court got so scared that they end up turning over a 78 law that Maryland and New York and all of them had adopted on the reasons why you must own a gun. They just turned it over. They passed it during the celebration of Roe versus Wade the same day. Okay, Maryland just changed it. It's on my Facebook page. Maryland just changed it now. You can walk in right now. And Florida always been this way. I got my Florida license. Utah always been this way. I got my Utah gun license. Maryland just said, your governor said, if you want a gun and you meet the requirements, you can get it to carry now. It has nothing to do with these people being mentally ill. We're under attack as Black people, and they know if they didn't do anything else other than that, we was going to circumvent getting guns in the black market.
No, y'all
needs to be out of
you lucky I got 4 minutes. I had something I was getting ready to say. Mike, you coming back?
Yeah, you know,
I know you got some stuff going on.
Yeah.
Hey, let me respond to Shannon right quick. The system's not broken. It was made this way.
That's right. It was made this way.
It was made this way.
Mike,
it was made this way.
Can I say one thing for Mike? I just want to say,
but she's on point,
Mike,
though. She's on point, though.
The reason why they letting the gun laws pass like that is because they got arm us up for war, because they say what happened to Ukraine. They ain't playing. We ready to go to war. Stay woke, people. That's why. That's why it's right. That's why they ready arm everybody the way they want us armed. That's why everybody can get a gun right now. Don't let them let you leave all the rest of it. They say for Ukraine, they say, they fight back. So let me give all these niggas in the hood some guns legally. So that we go to war, we gonna see who really fight for those countries. That's what that's about. Yeah. That's what that's about, because we ready to go to war.
We beefing with the same people they are. You see, I mean, you already know what type of time they on. But no, I definitely plan on arguing with Mike next week, because that made me think of something. I'm gonna write it down. I won't get so open discussion again next week, because I think I like this. I definitely got to pick your brain on something, Mike, because you get on my damn nerves.
But listen, so before you close it though, like thanks for inviting me. Like I lost my nephew yesterday, so
sorry.
This was a cool outlet for me tonight. So if I came off too aggressive, it's just a lot of things on my mind.
Oh no, okay.
We gotta pick it up. We gotta pick it up a good topic. I used to do that little law stuff in high school. That was fun, you know.
I just sit back and watch the show, man.
So I guess if it's okay, I know Mike got his own principles, but I do want everybody that's listening, watching, keep Mike, his family, everybody in prayer, whichever method of prayer that you use, whatever God you pray to. If you do meditation or anything, just keep them uplifted. I definitely feel for him, even though I like to argue with him and you know, go back and forth. I'm glad we can help. As you tuned in, I'm always happy to see you. You are my problem child, though. But we definitely love you. You already know, if you need to talk, you need anything, just call me.
Okay.
I'm definitely here.
Shout out to Shannon Raisin. I mean,
Shannon.
I just skipped the middle name. Aloysius Raisin.
Aloysius.
Yeah.
Aloysius.
Yeah. She dropped some good stuff in there.
Aloysius. Sorry, Shannon.
Aloysius Raisin.
Raymond Holder. Also, shout out to Daytrick.
I don't know where you got your name from, but hey, that's all boy.
Yeah. Thank you, Daytrick, for your short stories. Jay Nathaniel, definitely. He always tuned in. Who else was on here? Khadija, of course. I gotta thank Jude. She always come up. All the time. You coming back next week?
Mike, you will be on here next week?
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be here. I'll let Coco know.
Thank
you. Coco,
y'all pray for me. I'm working third shift for the next 2 weeks.
I'm gonna be the same. I'm gonna be the same form, but different conversation.
Can you ask Boscoe some of that?
Yep.
I'm riding up there because I want some of what you said.
The next time, you gotta pay. We all trying to be stuck on the side of the screen.
He was stuck like that for like 10 minutes.
Okay, anyway.
Watching. Must be good.
But that's my time. I thank you, Mike, again. Praying for you and your family. The Jude, you already know. I love you. Thank you for coming on the panel. Boscoe, co-host, youthabomb.com, even though you were stuck here for the show. But We love
Never
you.
smoke.
To the audience, Liddy was, thank you so much for watching.
Mary Jane, man. Mary Jane.
8 o'clock. We will see you guys next Wednesday. Another open discussion. I'm going to try my best to get Mike, hopefully, in good graces. We're going to argue again, just to let y'all know. Jude, she coming back. I don't care what nobody say. Last week we did. And we know who else knows who might pop up. But thank you guys. See you next week.
Deuces.
Nah.
Smoke weed every day.
You said a lot of stories about why you were with her. I mean, so why didn't you like your dad? What's up? Like nothing. You sitting there
because
there
was never any challenging you.
There was
Every
any
time
challenge.
in the
You
house.
can't even get out. Trying to disconnect, man. It won't let me disconnect.
Hey, please.
No,
Dang.
Man. Listen, this is my son right here. I'm talking to him.
Lower your voice. Pump your brakes, brother.
Lady.
This is the only thing I want to say. He's not feeling heard by you, X. Let him finish a sentence. How did it make you feel when you heard him say those things?
I felt like you were a liar and a hypocrite.
And how did that make you feel about
Your
him?
next was made.
Maybe share that so he can understand why your relationship with him, why you didn't talk to him.
Yo, Rich funny as hell.
He wants to understand why you didn't talk to him.
Look at his foot.
You were always most of the time, very hostile, and it was always.
Towards you.
No, but just us in the house, the way you would talk made me feel like beneath you. Even what you were saying was good.
Just give me an example of how I spoke to you that made you, you know what I'm saying, feel like you were,
I mean, it was years ago.
Just one example. Just one sentence. I've done it so much. This is such a major
What
part.
about today?
Lady, shut up, man. I'm talking about, no, listen,
don't
man.
get to
Listen,
talk
man,
to me
I'm
like
not doing this.
You don't get. I was talking to Xavier.
Damn, y'all, for real,
I was talking to Xavier. I'm not intimidated by you.
You gotta be intimidated, man. Stop running your mouth.
What about
I'm not even gonna have this. Yo.
All right, Joe, God, that was funny.